Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video day. And today, the New Orleans Pelicans have traded for Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk, veteran who will turn 34 years old before the season ends. He's going to turn... The season won't be over when he turns 34, but his season might be over when he turns 34. April 19th is when he turns 34 years old, and if he stays on the Pelicans, he will definitely not be playing on April 19th. We'll see. Look, I would not be surprised if he potentially gets cut or bought out, and then it would be the case of he would probably sign with a contender or a playoff team, and then April 19th, very possible he's playing for a team. But as a big Kelly Olynyk fan, and reason I really like Kelly Olynyk is because I'm a Rockets fan, and Olynyk, if you're new to basketball, or this was pretty big when it happened in 2021. But if you weren't watching basketball in 2021, there was a trade where the Rockets, who had got Victor Oladipo for James Harden, sent Victor Oladipo to Miami, which that failed massively, and the Rockets got Christian Wood and Avery Bradley back in return. And this was right at the start of the Rockets' really bad start of a rebuild. And Kelly Olynyk, because of that, really started to get some good minutes with this Rockets team, and had 27 games played that at the end of the season, 24 starts and 31 minutes per game. Shot an amazing 39% from three and 55% from the floor, averaging 19 points per game and 8 rebounds per game and 4 assists per game, and great defensive numbers with almost 1 block per game and 1.5 steals per game. And that led to him getting a big contract in Detroit, which then Detroit decided to trade him to Utah. And then Utah decided to trade him to Toronto. And now Toronto's decided to trade him to New Orleans. And the reason I hate this for Kelly Olynyk is because I remember watching Kelly Olynyk with the playoff teams before he ended up on my Rockets, like the Miami Heat, where he had 2 successful postseasons on their championship run, where they making it to the championship. When they made it to the finals, their finals run, losing in the finals to the Lakers, he averaged 8 points per game and 5 rebounds per game with 1 assist per game and almost 1 block per game with 35% three-point shooting in their playoff run in 17 games. And then when the Heat made it to the playoffs in the 17-18 season, and that was Dwayne Wade's one of his last seasons, and I can't remember who they played in the playoffs. I want to say they played I'm pretty sure they played the 76ers in the playoffs that year. And he averaged 13 points per game and 5 rebounds per game with 4 assists per game, over 1 block per game, 1.5 steals per game in that postseason with the Heat. And then I also watched him in the 16-17 season, which was my first year watching basketball with the Celtics in the playoffs. And he played good basketball with the Celtics in the playoffs that year. So he's a great... For me, it's fun to watch him because he was watching basketball for me, he was one of the first really big men I watched that was a good shooter. He's a guy who's in his career has been in the league since 2013. Since starting his career with Boston, has shot 37% from 3 in his career. So, and has shot 47% from 3 this season with the Raptors. So that's why I'd love to see him on a playoff team again and play playoff basketball. He hasn't done it since the Heat made it to the finals in the 2019-20 season, which feels like ages ago. It was 5 years ago. That's why I'd love to see my dream thing for when it comes to the players that were involved in this trade is this is very unrealistic of happening. It could happen for one of these players, but I don't see it happening for both. But my dream would be for the Pelicans to buy out both of the players they received in this trade, this Ingram trade. Obviously, they sent Ingram to the to the Raptors and received a 2nd-round pick and a 1st-round pick, Bruce Brown and Olynyk. Both Olynyk and Bruce Brown, you could say, have poor contracts. My dream would be for Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk both to be bought out or cut, and both of them sign with the Denver Nuggets. That's my dream right there. We all know how fun it was to watch Bruce Brown with the Nuggets, and I don't think he would hesitate to go back to Denver if the Pelicans decide to let him go. And for me, I came up with the connection of Kelly Olynyk potentially ending up in Denver a couple months ago in December, or maybe it was January. I think it was December. I talked about this in a video. But I really would love the idea of Kelly Olynyk going to Denver because I think he fits well there. They need a backup center since really their only backup center is the only backup center is DeAndre Jordan or Dario Saric. So they need a backup center, and you could put Kelly Olynyk on the floor with Jokic if you wanted to, because Olynyk is a great shooter. So is Jokic. So I think they'd be nice playing together on the floor. And you're not gonna see the Nuggets put DeAndre Jordan on the floor with Jokic. I don't think that would make sense. Maybe Dario Saric would, because he's more of a power forward than he's a center. But you could put Kelly Olynyk on the floor at the same time with Jokic. And I think that would make them a better team. I'd love to see both Olynyk and Brown end up in Denver. It's not possible to happen in a trade, because with those two guys' salary, you'd have to give up like a Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon to get Olynyk and Brown. And I know the Nuggets aren't willing to do that, and I don't blame them. But if both or one of these guys ends up on the buyout market, I expect the Nuggets to go after him. If both of them end up on the buyout market, I expect the Nuggets to pursue both of these guys. But I would not be surprised. My prediction is that Kelly Olynyk stays in New Orleans and remains with another bad team, which I feel bad for Kelly. And I would not be surprised if Kelly Olynyk potentially retires after this season. And Bruce Brown gets bought out. And then once Bruce Brown gets bought out, he ends up in Denver, and Olynyk stays in New Orleans. That's my prediction. But I'd love to see both those guys end up in Denver. And I'm saying this as a Rockets fan that knows the Denver Nuggets would become an even more dangerous team in the Western Conference if they had Olynyk and Bruce Brown on their team. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.